Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube famous now. And this is my Friday rant, except it's Tuesday. But I do what I want, so get over it. Anyway, I put out on Twitter, who wants a rant video? What drives you crazy? And I thought before I got into this, I would read a few of the responses that I got because they were so good. Oh, look at this. Michelle sent me this. I love little dog memes. Oh my God. Do you know the things I hate? This is one of the things I hate. Is when people are reading memes and they're sitting right next to you and you're like having a conversation like at lunch or dinner and they're like, and then you go, what? And they go, nothing. And then you go, what? And they go, nothing. I was just reading a meme. Well, what is it? Don't worry about it. It's nothing, right? And then and you're like, no, tell me. I want to laugh too, you know? And they're like, okay. And then they're like, and then you, like, by then it's so killed that you're just like, go screw your meme. I don't even care. But anyway, these are the things that people said. Dustin said, rude people. Beth said, rompers for men. Oh my God, I can't stand them either, okay? But I will tell you, I've seen a couple guys that are super hot that wear them, and I'm like, okay, those are like the only people that should wear them. Well, not the only people, but like the only guy. I mean, wear what you want to wear, right? Okay? I mean, I see people all the time that wear shit they should never wear. People probably think I shouldn't wear this pink hat for the 9 millionth time, but I do, and if you don't like it, then you're irrelevant and get over it. William said, people that cannot drive. I have serious road rage. Well, William, that would imply, if you have serious road rage, that maybe you can't drive. But I too feel that way, right? I always get behind the slowest person driving, and then I'm like this, and like the lane next to me is like vroom vroom vroom, and I'm like, I can't get over, and I'm like this and like this and I'm like this. And truth of the nature, I hit my mailbox here. I'll even show you guys. I hit the mailbox like a week and a half ago, and you see my mirror is like pushed up against my door, and I'm too fucking lazy to go over there and push it back, so I can't see what's going on in the lane next to me. So I have to like turn all the way around like this, which is never a good look for nobody. And I have to turn all the way around and see. And then as soon as I do, they're always in my blind spot and they come by and I can never get over. And I'm like, ah, kill a beast, right? And I'm always behind the slowest person in the world. And if you watch my vlogs, you know that I've made a commitment. There's no light in this entire car. Well, that's too much light. I've made a commitment because it is so horrible that you should not text and drive. I have to have a little bit of light. What is going on in here? Dark sun, dark sun. Ah! I'll tell you, my rant is the light in this car for being a car vlogger. There's just none. Okay, so anyway, maybe it's the hat. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I will tell you what drives me absolutely nuts, okay? And it's not teenagers, you guys. Like, it is very rarely teenagers. When I get behind somebody, and they're always in some, like, ginormous, like, Mercedes or Lexus, and when I'm starting to pass them, you see that it's, like, a 65 or a 70-year-old woman, and she's no lie like this. Driving with her wrists and texting like this. Do you see this? Texting like this. How are you driving and texting like that? It's so dangerous. Texting is so dangerous, and driving, don't text and drive. Don't, okay? But we want to come for the teenagers, and the teenagers aren't even what. I haven't witnessed many teenagers texting and driving recently. I'll tell you, it's always the 70-year-old woman. She's like this. Ugh, kill a beast. So anyway, what's the next thing on here? Listen, these are cracking me up. Teresa said, people who can't chew with their mouth closed makes me want to stab them with a spork. That is one of my biggest pet peeves ever. My mother was like Miss Manners all the way. And like when I was a little kid, if I chewed with my mouth open, she'd be like, ah. I'll tell you the other thing I can't stand is when people sneeze and they go, instead of going, achoo, which is what you should do, right? They go, achoo! And you know that snot just flew all across the room, hit your glass door, hit the side of the restaurant, something. It's disgusting. I can't stand it. I'm like, can you please put your mouth over your nose, or put your hand over your nose? Like, why are you sneezing for the whole world to like have all of their shit hit, you know, have your snot hit the entire world, right? That is so disrespectful, okay? The other thing is when people like chomp their gum, I've learned this lesson the hard way. When people chomp their gum and just and snap their gum. I used to do this back in the day, right? I did this probably till about 10 years ago. And I'll never forget my friend Liz and I, we were at my mom's funeral. We were like getting ready to go into the line, like the viewing line. And it was my friend Liz, my best friend Liz and I, myself and my aunt. And we were standing in line, and my aunt had it with our gum chewing, right? And before it started, she goes like this, "Give me your gum." She's like, "It is unsightly. Give me your gum." So anyway, gum chewing is chewing with your mouth open. I'll tell you what I can't stand is YouTubers who do mukbangs and chew with their mouth open. It's disgusting. I don't love a good eating show anyway, okay? But if you're gonna do an eating show, you better be laid ass gorgeous, baby, sitting there eating some food that makes me hungry, okay? But don't be sitting there and eating your, rib tips and beef tips and mashed potatoes and all that. Ugh, can't stand it anyway. And just, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I do not understand this mukbang thing. I do not understand this mukbang thing, but I love some of them. I do. Okay. Hola, hey, hola, she said. People that tell you what you can or can't like and are super judgy because they think they're so intellectual and so much better. Yes, I have many, many friends like that, right? I'll tell you the other thing I hate, and as you get older, you'll know what I'm talking about. Please hold, I need a sip of my coffee. I cannot stand when, you have that friend, I don't have kids, right? It was a very deliberate choice for me not to have kids. But I'm a great uncle. So anyway, what I can't stand is when you have those friends whose kids are in soccer, and they have 3 kids under the age of 4, and they're all in soccer, right? And they're taking soccer private lessons, and they have soccer leagues, and they have to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning because they have soccer games at 5 o'clock in the morning. Who organizes this shit, first of all? If I was a parent and had to go to a soccer game at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I'd be like, excuse me, I'm an adult, and there's no reason for me to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Who plans these things? This is ridiculous, right? If my child wanted to be in soccer, I'd say, I'm sorry, you need to find the soccer league that starts 3 o'clock in the afternoon because Papa needs to take his nap. So anyway, but what kills me is when you are out to dinner with those people, and what do they talk about? Soccer, 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 soccer. That's all they talk about, right? And then if you say something like, well, my nephew's in baseball, they're like, oh, well, baseball's really not the game that you want to have your child in. It's soccer. Soccer's the best game. We've done our research, and soccer's the best game. They've proven that soccer players have better eye and hand coordination, and they are just smarter. Because I said in my video yesterday, in 2017, to play a sport, to have a toy, to read a book, it all has to enhance your mind so that you end up getting the best SAT scores, the best grades, into the best college of your choice, so that you graduate, and then all of a sudden you get out of college and you're making, $500,000 a year in a job. What parents believe this? This is not the truth of the nature, okay? The truth of the nature is your kid plays sports all through high school. It doesn't get them into college. They don't have that great of grades, and then they go to some state college, which is totally fine, and they party the house down while they're in college, and they get okay grades, and they graduate, and then when they graduate after busting their ass the last 2 years, because they realized the first 2 years was when they finally had some freedom and partied the house down, the last 2 years they've really said, okay, I'm gonna get some good grades, and then they get out of college and they can't get a job, and guess what? They're moving back home with you. Why? Because you wanted them to play soccer, okay? Your focus was on soccer. Maybe your child was an artist. Maybe your child should have been a football player. Maybe your child should have, I don't know, played lacrosse. But soccer was not the game. But this is not the end of my story. What kills me is these parents will go on and on and on about soccer, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even have children to have to sit here and listen to this soccer nonsense, right? Flash forward 3 months later, you're having dinner with them again, and you're like, oh, how's Johnny? Is Johnny still playing soccer? How's soccer going? They're like, no, soccer's not the game. Baseball's the game. And you're like, oh, really? They're like, yes, we did our research. Baseball's where it's at. You need to have your child in baseball. Now, let me just tell you, with my friends, the majority of my friends that have kids that are in athletics, this changes every 3 to 6 months. There's always a sport, the newest sport of the moment, right? And whatever sport their child is playing is the sport that children should be playing. Drives me crazy. Ola, I agree with you 100%. We could change the world. We're solving the world's problems right here in my car. It's 88 degrees. I'm burning up. I'm sweating balls, but baby, I'm solving the world's problems. Lateness and late people who don't care that their lateness affects others. Well, I'm always late, so we won't address that one. Get over it. You're irrelevant. No, but listen, true story. I had this client years and years and years ago, and she brought me a battery. And it was all wrapped up like a present. And she goes, oh, I brought you a present. And it was I used to see her at 9:30 in the morning. Why I ever schedule appointments at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday, I will never know. But anyway, she was like, do you want to open your present? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I opened it. It was a battery, and I didn't get it. She goes, don't you want to know why I gave you a battery? And I go, yeah, sure, why? And she goes, well, obviously your alarm clock doesn't work because you're always late. So she was like, so I bought you a new battery. I was like, and she said something very valuable to me that has really changed things for me and made me want to be more on time. Here's a little learning lesson in Peter's rant video. You know, in all my videos, there's always kind of a learning lesson. Here it is. She said to me, she said, because if she had just said to me, it irritates the shit out of me when you're late, I'd have been like, I know. I'm a failure. Get over it. But what she said to me was, when people are late, I think she said when you're late. She said when people are late, what it says is that you think that your time is more valuable than mine. And I was like, ooh, that is so true. So that's been my commitment for the last 5 years, to not be late. Okay, let's see. So, Jess, I totally agree with you. My husband, he thinks 10 minutes early is late, okay? He's like, we need to get there. I'm like, it's like a half an hour. He's like, we need to get there. We're late. Riley said, oh, I love your rants. People that are totally oblivious that there are other people around them. They stop in the middle of the aisle. Oh! Can we just talk about Costco for a second and Sam's Club and all those places? Oh my God. Have you ever been, you can't even get out of the parking lot, okay? It's like people are so entitled to this perfect parking space in Costco or Target or Walmart or whatever. And then there's always that one person that was like my dad that parks so far away because they're just like, they just can't even be bothered with it. So they want to like walk the mile in, which is fine. I understand that. It is what it is. But I don't understand like this rudeness. And I always get behind these people and it's like, I'm trying to speed in and get toothpaste and like, you know, one other deodorant. And it's like, I'm behind the person and they're like, well, Gertrude, now, do you think that we need mothballs? Well, we need some of that Epsom salt. Well, and those pretzels that have peanut butter. I sure love those. Me too. And then I'm like stuck behind him. I'm like, I just want my deodorant so I don't stink like you fools. Ugh. Too much. And then the aisles at Costco are always a mile long, right? Always a mile long. Alex and I have gone in there on like a Saturday because we need something like dog food. One thing, dog food, right? Costco should have an aisle, and so should Sam's Club and those places that say, if you have one item, come through here, but they don't, right? They have these aisles that everybody has 15,000 things and you're standing there with one thing. I totally relate to that. So anyway, well, I guess that's the end of all of the world's problems on Twitter because nobody else tweeted me back about any of that. There's just so much we could go on about and on about and on about and on about and on about. I'm sitting in front of Half Price Books. I went in there right now and they're like all talking about sale books, right? Like, this whole clearance like world that we live in is just a bunch of bullshit, okay? Like, for example, this book that I wanted, I saw yesterday at Barnes & Noble, and it was like $16.49 or something like that, and I went in here, and it's $14.80 or something, and I was like, yeah, gal, $1.50, that's what I'm saving by coming all the way down to the Half Price Books. That's not, how's that half price? Half price is $8. Like, seriously? Y'all know how to do math, Half Price Books? That shit drives me crazy, right? Or if you sit there and you're like, oh, it says something like 60% off, but then if you get really close to the thing, it says 60% off when you buy one, you get the second one 60% off. What is that bullshit? That is such crap. I can't stand that. And then they get you in there because they're like 60% off everything. Yeah, when you buy 5, you get the 9th one for 60% off. Ugh, kill a beast. So the whole world's just a scam. It totally is. Everything about the world is just a total scam. It just drives me nuts. I can't stand it. Why can't people just be honest? That's my biggest rant of all. Liars. Can't stand them. Can't be bothered with them. Don't trust them. Don't. Next. Somebody lies to me. I'm like, next. 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 I feel so much better now, don't you? I always feel so much better when I get my rants out. But people drive me crazy. They do. Every day. Every day. Well, all right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.